Ambassador Veltar's mandibles clicked in barely contained amusement as he observed the human delegation's presentation. Around the vast circular chamber of the Galactic Council, representatives from 100 species watched with similar expressions of condescension. The humans, with their soft pink skin and primitive technology, had requested membership in the Council's defense coalition, a laughable proposition. Honored Council members, the human ambassador, Sarah Chen, continued undeterred by the ripples of laughter echoing through the chamber. Earth offers 12 vessels for the coalition fleet. The Vrexani War Marshal Cathax's 4 eyes blinked in sequence, their species equivalent of rolling eyes. 12 ships? His translator crackled. The mighty Vrexani armada contributes 8,000 dreadnoughts alone. The crystalline Zephyr provide 15,000 light cruisers. What could 12 human vessels possibly add to our forces? More laughter erupted from the gallery. The Tok'ran delegates' tentacles writhed in mirth. Perhaps they could serve as target practice for our trainees. Ambassador Chen's jaw tightened, but she maintained her composure. Our ships may be few, but they represent technologies you've never encountered. We simply ask for the opportunity to prove Earth's worth. High Counselor Yethma, the ancient Velkari who presided over the assembly, raised one of her 6 arms for silence. Her voice carried the weight of millennia. The coalition faces the growing threat of the Devourer swarm. Every member must contribute meaningfully. 12 ships. She paused, considering. It is insufficient. Give us a trial, Chen pressed. 1 engagement. If our contribution proves inadequate, we'll withdraw our application. The War Marshal's carapace gleamed as he leaned forward. Very well, human. The outer rim system of Kepler 442 has been under swarm siege for 3 cycles. Our forces have been unable to break through their defensive perimeter. If your tiny fleet can accomplish what 30,000 coalition vessels could not, we shall reconsider your membership. The challenge was meant to be impossible. Kepler 442 hosted a critical research station studying exotic matter. The swarm had surrounded it with a living wall of bioships, feeding on the system's resources while slowly constricting their grip. Every assault had failed against their adaptive defenses and overwhelming numbers. 3 days later, the coalition's long-range sensors detected the arrival of Earth's fleet at the system's edge. 12 vessels, sleek, angular craft that seemed almost fragile compared to the massive dreadnoughts of other species. The swarm's response was immediate. Over 2 million bioships began converging on the human position. In the council chambers, representatives gathered around tactical displays, eager to witness humanity's inevitable destruction. The numbers were beyond absurd, 12 ships against millions. The humans are transmitting something, reported the sensor adept. It appears to be music? Indeed, across all frequencies, the human fleet was broadcasting an orchestral piece, something their records identified as Mars, the Bringer of War, by Gustav Holst. The martial rhythm seemed to pulse in harmony with their ship's movements as they advanced into the system's heart. The swarm engulfed them like a black tide. Energy weapons flashed as the bioships attacked with coordinated ferocity. For several minutes, the human vessels disappeared entirely within the writhing mass of alien flesh and chitin. Pathetic, War Marshal Cathax muttered. They lasted longer than expected, but his words died as something impossible appeared on the sensors. At the center of the swarm's formation, space itself began to twist. Reality warped in ways that hurt to observe, even through electronic displays. The bioships near the distortion started coming apart at the molecular level, their matter streaming into what could only be described as a wound in spacetime. What in the void? Counselor Yethma began. The distortion expanded exponentially. Not explosively, but with the inexorable patience of entropy itself. Swarm bioships tried to flee, but escape velocity became meaningless when space was folding in on itself. Within minutes, the entire enemy fleet, 2 million vessels, simply ceased to exist, consumed by the growing gravitational anomaly. But the humans weren't finished. The remaining 11 ships, 1 had been lost to initial swarm fire, arranged themselves in a complex geometric pattern around the anomaly. Energy readings spiked beyond the sensor's ability to measure. Then, with surgical precision, they began directing the artificial black hole's movement. The council watched in stunned silence as the humans herded their impossible weapon toward the system's star, a red giant that had been feeding the swarm's growth. When the two forces met, the results defied every known law of physics. The star didn't explode. It didn't collapse, it simply unraveled. Like a carefully constructed tapestry being picked apart thread by thread, the massive fusion reactor came undone at the quantum level. For a brief moment, the system blazed with the light of creation itself as matter converted directly to pure energy. Then darkness. Where Kepler 442 had burned for billions of years, only empty space remained. The council chamber fell silent, except for the soft hum of life support systems. Species that had conquered star systems and reshaped galaxies stared at the displays in primitive terror. Ambassador Chen's voice cut through the silence, transmitted from her flagship. The research station and its personnel have been evacuated safely. The swarm threat to this sector has been neutralized. We await your evaluation of Earth's contribution. High Counselor Yethma found her voice first. How? The single word carried the weight of 1,000 unasked questions. We call it a quantum cascade disruptor, Chen replied matter-of-factly. Humanity has always been good at turning theoretical physics into practical weapons. We just needed sufficient power sources and precise gravitational manipulation. The star provided the former, and our ship's synchronized field generators handled the latter. War Marshal Cathax's mandibles clicked rapidly, a sign of extreme agitation among his people. You eliminated an entire star system to defeat the swarm? We eliminated a compromised system that was feeding enemy forces, Chen corrected. The swarm relied on stellar energy for their bioship's growth cycles. Remove the energy source, eliminate the threat. Sometimes the most elegant solution is also the most definitive. The implications hit every council member simultaneously. If humans could casually erase star systems, if 12 ships could accomplish what fleets of thousands could not, then every assumption about galactic power structures needed immediate revision. Counselor Yethma's ancient voice trembled slightly. Earth's application for coalition membership is approved, unanimously, with full honors. As the council session ended and representatives filed out in subdued clusters, whispered conversations filled the corridors. The humans had arrived. As petitioners seeking acceptance, they were leaving as the coalition's most feared members. In the depths of space, 11 human vessels began their journey home, their crews already working on refinements to their stellar elimination protocols. Behind them, the Kepler 442 system was nothing but empty darkness, a reminder to the galaxy that humanity's greatest weapon had never been their technology. It was their absolute willingness to use it.